Jake was an ordinary internet user. However, one day his curiosity led him deep into the dark web. At first, he was just browsing anonymous forums and looking for interesting things. But one day, he stumbled upon a site called Unreal Show. As soon as he entered, a live video appeared on his screen. In the video, a woman was being held captive in a dark room, and users were voting on what would happen to her next. Panicked, Jake immediately closed the site, but the next day he received a mysterious USB drive in the mail. When he plugged it in, a single message appeared on his screen: "We know you're watching. You can't escape." Jake hastily removed the USB and considered calling the police, but fear prevented him from speaking to anyone. That night, he noticed his computer turning on by itself. Hundreds of random codes streamed across the screen before the site reopened on its own. He fled the room in terror but stopped in his tracks when he received a message on his phone: "Keep watching, or face the consequences." Days passed, and Jake's life turned into a nightmare. He noticed his internet connection was constantly being monitored, and he heard strange whispers outside his window every night. He could no longer focus on his work. One day, he found an envelope in his mailbox containing photos of himself sleeping. He knew then that no one could save him. Lisa was a night shift nurse who discovered an unused computer in one of the hospital rooms. The computer had a browser that provided access to the dark web, and Lisa began browsing out of curiosity. Suddenly, she found a page titled Darkroom 67. When she entered, she discovered old patient records and eerie videos of bizarre experiments. In one video, people were shown being held captive in the hospital's basement. Terrified, Lisa immediately shut the computer down. But the next day, she heard a whisper in the hospital corridor: "You should have never looked." Determined to investigate further, Lisa searched the hospital records, but the room she had seen wasn't listed anywhere. The next night, she gathered the courage to go down to the basement. As she walked through the dark corridors, she heard muffled groans. When she reached the door, she found a massive chain locked around it. Just as she turned to leave, a scream echoed from behind the door. Panicked, she ran upstairs and reported the incident to the hospital director, who insisted that no such room existed. Lisa refused to give up and resigned from her job to conduct private investigations. But one morning, she woke up to find the words "Lost Room 67" carved into her bedroom wall. Mark was a journalist interested in paranormal events. While browsing the dark web, he came across a forum called Soul Trade. When he joined, he found discussions about a mysterious seller who supposedly bought and sold souls. Mark contacted the forum's administrator and arranged a meeting. When he arrived at the meeting point, a man with glowing red eyes handed him a mirror and said, "Look into this mirror, and you'll see the price of your soul." Mark gazed into the mirror and saw a terrifying figure lurking behind his reflection, sending him into a panicked escape. From that day forward, every time he looked into a mirror, shadows followed him. As Mark delved deeper into his investigation, he uncovered terrifying details about the mirror's origins. He found documents stating that it had been used to trap souls for centuries. But it was too late. No matter where he went, the entity inside the mirror watched him. Over time, he noticed his reflection gradually fading away. One morning, he woke up to find all the mirrors in his house shattered. In the final mirror, written in blood, were the words, "We are here now." Dylan was a computer programmer who enjoyed solving mysterious codes on the dark web. One day, he stumbled upon a highly encrypted file labeled Oblivion. Curiosity got the better of him, and he downloaded the file. Upon opening it, his screen filled with lines of incomprehensible code, followed by a chilling message: "Connection established. We know your location." Dylan's hands trembled as he tried to shut down his computer, but it refused to turn off. The screen flickered, and a live feed of his apartment appeared. The camera zoomed in on him, capturing his terrified expression. Panicking, he unplugged everything and fled to a friend's house, but the messages continued. His phone buzzed relentlessly with texts from an unknown number: "Running won't help. We see you." Over the following weeks, Dylan noticed strangers staring at him on the street. His social media accounts were hacked, with cryptic messages appearing on his profiles. Every attempt to erase his digital footprint failed, and soon he found his bank accounts emptied, his identity erased, and his life spiraling out of control. He tried seeking help from cybersecurity experts, but each one turned him away, visibly disturbed after examining his devices. One night, as Dylan sat in his darkened apartment, his TV turned on by itself. A distorted voice spoke through the speakers, "Welcome to Oblivion." The screen display coordinates leading to an abandoned warehouse outside the city. Against his better judgment, he decided to go, hoping to end the nightmare. At the warehouse, Dylan found a room filled with monitors, each showing live footage of different people, some crying, others staring blankly at the screen. A figure in a black hood appeared behind him and whispered, "You're part of the system now." Dylan's screams were drowned out as the screen in front of him showed his own terrified face, and darkness consumed him. The next day, his apartment was empty, wiped clean as if he had never existed. His online presence vanished completely, and those who knew him forgot he had ever lived. The dark web forums whispered of Oblivion, a place where the forgotten remain trapped, their lives erased, their souls bound to the network forever.